I inherited the situation in a church, had a very gracious and nice person on staff, loved him, but his wife hardly ever, over the course of several years, maybe once or twice, came to church. I didn't really know what to do. I cannot say that I handled it well because I didn't handle it at all. I just basically ignored it. Should I have ignored it? Should I have said, well, nothing was done in the past, I can't come in here and change it? Or should I have not even said that that was a problem because I hired a pastor on staff and not in this case, the pastor's wife? Well, these are some type of issues we face when the spouse of a pastor or staff person does not attend church. And let's just talk about it for a moment. And this is the Church Answers podcast. My name is Tom Rayner, and thank you for being a part of this brief, poignant, and to the point podcast where we say in around 10 minutes everything that we need to say on this particular point. Thank you, as always, Belay. Belay is our partner in ministry. Belay is our sponsor. Belay is the person, the organization that provides those persons who are assistants, our webmasters. They are the type of people that can do your bookkeeping for you. If there's a task that you need done, the chances are great that Belay Solutions will get it done. And the people that they match with you are highly efficient. They become a part of your team. Sometimes I almost forget that our staff, if we of course have a staff person right now that is part of Belay. I sometimes forget they're part of Belay because they seem more a part of our team, and that's the way it should work. Hope you check out Belay Solutions. I hope you check out their download that we've been advocating you to do, 25 tasks a pastor can delegate to an assistant. You can get that at belaysolutions.com/Tom Rayner, or you can click on to the show notes. Okay, so once again, here's the dilemma. It could be the pastor. It could be the student pastor, next gen pastor. It could be the worship pastor. But there's someone that's on the staff, pastor or staff person, and their spouse does not attend church. We're not talking about medical reasons. We're not talking about any reason that we can understand why they cannot come, but they just do not come. What do we do with that? I mentioned to you my situation that with this particular staff person, I did nothing. I don't know if that was the right path. I inherited the situation. It had been a situation with that staff person for many years before I ever arrived. I don't think there was a physical problem because that particular spouse would be seen at other places out and about. So that person just did not come. That spouse simply did not come. So what do we do? What do we do in these situations? Well, the first thing we do is what I did not do. We need to ask the question, why? So if I had been wise, one of the first things I would have done early in my ministry there is to sit down with a staff member. And I would have said, hey, I'm just going to call him Bill. That's not his real name. Bill, I want to just address the elephant in the room. Your wife obviously does not attend or very rarely attends church. I'm not trying to stir up things. I just want to hear from you and you tell me what's going on. And I may not have been satisfied with his answer, but I know I would have been a lot more satisfied than not asking him. So one of the first things that we need to be doing is trying to find out the why behind it. Maybe there was a possibility that I could have done something pastorally for this person, or maybe gotten some help from this person. I really don't know the reason why. I just know that in this case, she did not come, and at least she was able to go to some other events within the community, but it was not the church. So the first thing I would just simply try to find out and go straight to the closest source, which would be the staff member whose spouse is not attending, and just ask the question why. In this case, I think Bill would have told me something. I think I probably would not have been satisfied with the answer, but at least I would have attempted to reach out to him and to let him know that it was obvious that this was an issue within the church. That brings up a second point. How does this issue affect the church? Is it something that affects the church unity? Is there a lot of talk about it? Is it such an issue that it is going to cause a diversion from ministry and reaching people with the gospel? Is this something that seems unfair to some staff people whose spouses attend regularly, faithfully, and probably volunteer in many positions? One of the things that I really just needed to examine is, how does this affect the church? Well, if this affected the church of which I was pastor, I didn't know about it. Nobody said anything to me about this. I just saw it after 2 or 3 weeks. Where is Bill's wife? Why don't we ever see her? I think I met her one time. And so, but it was amazing. It was like it just, that issue did not exist in the church. And I didn't ask anymore. I just didn't make it a big issue. Once again, I don't suggest that you go my path and just act like nothing's wrong or ignore it. I may have asked 1 or 2 people, but after that, I just let it be. It was just not a hill that I was going to die on. But maybe I should have been a bit more proactive. So 2 basic questions. If the spouse of a pastor or staff member, staff person does not attend church, the first question is why? Find out from the staff person. You may not be satisfied with the answer, but find out from that staff person why. Why do they not attend church? Secondly, find out, to the best of your knowledge, how it is affecting the church. Is it affecting the unity of the church? Is it affecting the staff? Is it affecting anyone else? Again, that may not give you the answer for the solution you have. And some of you may feel strongly about this and say, well, if the spouse does not come, we really don't want that person on staff. That would be the other extreme, that you let them go because of the spouse. But again, it is a question that some churches are experiencing now, and we need to continue to ask the question, what is the best way to approach it? Again, I didn't answer it, but I at least gave you 2 questions to ask, and at least I admitted that in the one occasion that I had this situation take place in a church, that I did not deal with it well. Thank you, as always, for listening to Church Answers Podcast, and thank you, Belay, for always being our sponsor. Once again, let me remind you that the download that they're offering you is 25 tasks a pastor can delegate to an assistant. Check that download out. And also look in the show notes at our new ministry, the Hope Initiative. It is doing a tremendous work in many churches, and it's a 30-day initiative to get your church moving forward. I think you will be blessed by it. This is the Church Answers Podcast. Continue to listen to these short, pithy, usually less than 10-minute sessions, and we'll continue to try to give you the information that is relevant to your ministry. We'll see you in the next episode. Hey, folks, this is a PS to our podcast. We got some exciting stuff that we want to offer you absolutely for free. Sam, when you think about predictive factors in a church's growth, if you take out demographics, what are some things that come to mind? Just 2. I mean, don't give me a list of 10. Just 2 or 3 things that come to mind on predictive growth of a church.
Well, evangelism, and whether the church is doing it or not.
Bingo.
And then I will add, is it an ongoing evangelism emphasis?
Double bingo. Well? And maybe something about leadership and their commitment to that. So all of the above.
Evangelistic churches have evangelistic pastors. Is the staff, is the lead pastor doing the work themselves?
We have a free download for you, and it's actually a sheet that you can self-score. You answer 20 questions, anywhere from strongly disagree to strongly agree. And we come back and we predict what your growth rate is going to be for the next year in worship attendance. It's not a perfect tool, but it's a good tool. There's a link to that for the attendance predictor. Look in the show notes. You'll absolutely love it. That's cool. We'll see you soon.